Well, the World Bank has not been very active in Gabon over the past 10 years. We were looking at a portfolio of $50 million, and this new program takes that to between $250 and $300 million at this stage. So what's the incentive? What's changed in that country right now, and why are you putting money here?
Well, thank you so much for having me today. The real difference between what we're seeing today is a renewed dialogue and a brand new engagement between the World Bank and Gabon. We're very encouraged to see what the new authorities in Libreville are looking to do, namely to turn their country into an emerging market between now and 2025. And so we've come to a new agreement between Gabon and the World Bank to really see how we can work with them to help them get to this emerging market status in the next few years. And so this is where the renewed ambition in terms of our investment portfolio, which is, like you said, growing from $50 to $300 million over the next 3 to 4 years. And then in particular, this service agreement, which is where the country actually pays the bank for advisory services and technical assistance, which we will be delivering over the next year.
Of course,
so it's really about this renewed.
Sorry to interrupt, but to get to this stage, the developmental agenda that Gabon itself has got to be pretty convincing. So what are we looking at, and what are some of the target areas that are being focused on?
Right. Indeed, the renewed engagement and the proof points that we see their willingness to pay for technical assistance to help them in the areas of governance, public financial management, really looking at how they can diversify the sources of growth of their economy away from oil. We see all those as very positive steps. In terms of where we will focus the investment projects, this will be in the infrastructure space, really looking at telecommunications, looking at energy, looking at how we can also support them on the private sector development side, because this is where the country is trying to grow. We see examples like the Special Economic Zone at Nkok as very positive developments that we really at the World Bank would like to support. We've supported other Special Economic Zones around the world, and this is one of the first ones in Central Africa. And we believe that by bringing in better telecommunications network, such as the fiber optic cable project that we're financing, better energy and electricity, especially in the rural areas and the peri-urban areas, will really help us move the needle forward in Gabon.
So you've highlighted some of the sectors you've got an eye on moving into this territory, Zouera. There are other objectives which you highlighted as well, and that is improving governance and public sector capabilities overall. Just how much of a gap are you looking at closing there, and how much of a challenge do you foresee in doing it?
Well, really, the basic premise that we're working with is that the World Bank, the brand new World Bank strategy for Africa, is founded on the pillar of governance and public sector capacity. From there, we have two themes that we're working on, which is improving competitiveness of the economy and also improving vulnerability and resilience of the poorer populations. We believe that the gap that is there between the ability to get things done is where we want to have an impact, because we believe that without the proper governance and without the proper way of managing things, we're not going to get to that competitive and productive economy, and we won't be able to put in place these systems for resilience. So it's a foundation block. Now, what is also giving us, like I said earlier, confidence about the government's commitment to this topic is the fact that part of the work, more than half of the $2 million that the government is paying us to deliver this technical assistance in, is specifically in the space of improving public financial management. We believe that this is where governance issues can be attacked the most directly. If we know how to manage the public debt system, how to do procurement, how to bring transparency into that process, we believe these are significant building blocks for governance, and this is where we will be working.
What's the biggest challenge you foresee going down this path?
I believe that the biggest challenge that we have ahead of us is the capacity gap. There's a big the government has a lot of ambition, and the administration's ability to implement the vision is where we foresee challenges, which is exactly where we want our intervention to be. So again, if we're looking at debt systems and how to manage the whole debt system and how to reform it, how to look at the tax system and make sure that the incentives that are in place are actually giving the best possible bang for the government's buck. How do we bridge that gap is really what we are looking to do. And so the challenge is in building everybody's capacity, including the administration, to really do things in a new and we think improved and transparent way.